Listen. You see what's going on with Zion Williamson, the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm telling you, they're going to have themselves a gem. You know, all throughout his career, Zion Williamson, his whole situation with these injuries have just dominated his career. Zion Williamson, when he was first drafted, his weight was a concern. People thought about his diet, the way he was fueling his body. But now I'm here to tell you that it is a big weight loss this time around. I feel like we've been here before, but it looks a lot different now. This is breaking news. NBA fans everywhere are rejoicing with Zion Williamson looking a lot slimmer. Williamson was photographed posing with the kids that attended his basketball camp free of charge, ladies and gentlemen. Let me repeat that. Mr. Zion Williamson got a lot of these athletes charging these kids, who live in impoverished communities, arm and a leg. Zion Williamson free of charge in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And at the end of the day, it's an arm and a leg. I ain't talking about, you paying, because at the end of the day, you got to pay, for these services. But Zion is in an unbelievable place, and he's putting it on for his hometown, in Spartanburg. And like I said, he was noticeably a lot thinner. I don't know if he was, like I said, it's kind of wild. People are just, like I said, shocked. I just hope that this could translate to the basketball floor, at the end of the day, because Zion, the game shouldn't be missing Zion Williamson because all these injuries. I think that has to stop. Zion missing significant time. He played 70 games last year, y'all. That's big time, especially coming off the year before where he played 29. His rookie year, he played 24. So it seems to be like that every other year, So I think that he's trying to put together 2 solid seasons. You play 70 games. Now you need to go maybe up it this year, go 75. Nobody's saying to play all 82, but reasonable absences, not being out for months, being out for, 2 to 3 days, two games, just a reasonable time. 70 games, that's unbelievable for Zion Williamson. He had a perfect year, injury-free. And I hope that he can put together another season. You can start to put behind you all of this nonsense that has went on, with Zion and his weight and all this, that, and the third. Williamson reportedly said he's currently 281 pounds, less than he weighed at Duke at 285, and intends to be 272 when the NBA regular season begins. So, Zion is looking to shred even more weight, so this is, like I said, this is the beginning. And I know it's going to translate. The 6'6" Pelican star, like it was listed at 284 last season, but many believe he was overweight and out of shape, notably after watching him play in the NBA play-in season tournament. TNT's Charles Barkley and Shaq, along with Stephen A., were especially critical of Williamson's weight and conditioning during the 133-89 blowout loss to the Lakers. Spurred on by the public criticism, Williamson lost more than 25 pounds from that point. So we have to give him some props. At the end of the day, he's been through a lot. Zion, man, we got to understand, he just went through all these things with Miss Mills. It was wild. All the off the court antics. That kind of negated, the fact of this guy's an unbelievable basketball player. So we just got to call it how we see it, man. And at the end of the day, we want health. Listen, the Pelicans got a team in front of them. We don't know exactly what they're going to be doing in terms of moving on from Brandon Ingram, but they got options, and the talent to me is abundant on this roster. When you talk about a DeJounte Murray, that's why you need to subscribe to Flight Sports, because I'm going to be speaking on the importance of that acquisition and DeJounte, on how it's going to propel them. This is very intriguing. But nonetheless, Zion, Murray, Herb, CJ, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy. I think they got a good squad. And you got DeJounte coming in here who it's no accident that you see Zion dropping all this weight. You know, when you bring a guy in who can kind of take control of things, you know, get the wheels on the road, you know, and put some stability here, you know, and truly lead this team as the point guard. I think that's something that New Orleans, you know, has been lacking, and they gonna get that. They haven't had this really since Lonzo Ball, you know, and then he left. They brought in CJ. I think CJ, his offensive talent, you know, it just could propel you. But at the end of the day, CJ's not a guy that's known for getting the offense, you know, clicking and putting this guy in position and that guy. That's really wasn't CJ, never really CJ's specialty. So I'm not surprised, you know, that they started to look for another guard when they did. You know, it is what it is at the end of the day. We all know that Mr. Griffin, he's going to be aggressive. We know Griffin, he's going to do crazy things. He likes to have himself in a lot of different trades, talks, you know. So, I mean, at the end of the day, let's just hope the best for these New Orleans Pelicans, man, because they've been knocking at the door, you know, for a while now, and it seemed like health has been that problem, you know, whether it was Zion, whether it was Ingram, you know, those two guys clearly real key focal points on this roster. I think they'll be making a mistake moving on from Ingram, because especially if you don't bring back, you know, the requisite parts. You know, Ingram, you might kind of look at him and now you're looking to dispose of him, but you ain't gonna find that talent. That kind of talent just ain't all over the place, you know, and put in the right situation. Ingram could be a difference maker for a specific team. And like I said, the Pelicans have not been healthy. So you haven't had an opportunity to really get a good indication. So you don't want to make nothing crazy and just kick them to the curb, and you never got a chance to see what it looked like. So that would be devastating. But let's hope that we don't ever get to that point. You know, I think Zion Williamson is going to be around New Orleans for a minute. You know, they taking care of him. They putting the team around him. They putting that money on him. So, I mean, it's really like, what else could you ask for? You know, the media, they tried to separate him from the Pelicans, but they've done some things to bring him and reel him back in. And you starting to see, it looks like that Zion Williamson is going to, you know, be, you know, successful in New Orleans and not elsewhere. So we just got to be patient. But this is a great sign to see that Zion is taking his health seriously, and this is what everybody wanted. Now nobody can say nothing now. So I'm going to leave it at that. Zion Williamson is coming back better, stronger, and slimmer than ever. It's Flight Sports TV, man. It's about to be an intriguing season. Buckle up.